Hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about, my mental health. This is a subject that I have mentioned kind of in a few episodes of my Storytime series. And I talk about more frequently on my Twitter, where I post quotes that I know from people who are that are famous and go through certain mental health issues. I post quotes that I've made myself, and I post some of my poetry that deal with subjects such as mental health and everything like that. Now, as most of you all know, and most people, everyone on Twitter who follows me knows, and of course my family and friends here in town know, I suffer from depression, severe anxiety, and PTSD, on top of having autism. And I have a lot going on every day for many years. PTSD I have from several different factors. The physical and mental abuse I endured growing up from a certain family member that I wish not to name, and from friends or people who I thought were my friends when I was in high school, between 11th grade and 12th grade. People that I thought were my friends who betrayed me, made lies about me, and made it to where I, to this day, have severe trust issues. I don't trust new people that I talk to that easily. It makes it hard whenever I join a YouTube community, and I'm in a few YouTube communities. I'm in the horror community, I'm in the cosplay community, a whole bunch of communities. And when I get to hang out with new people and talk to new people, it makes it very hard for me to trust them straight away, because they appear friendly, they act friendly, they sound friendly, but how can I trust them to see that they're not going to do to me what these old friends or former friends of mine did before? Are they just going to use me? And that's been a lifetime fear of mine ever since high school. And it's not good when you have to have a hard time deciding whether or not you trust somebody, because I used to be a very trusting person. I used to trust everybody that I met. Even strangers in Walmart, I'd walk up and say, "Hi, my name is Mikey. What's your name?" And I'd tell them about myself, and they'd tell me about themselves. I trusted these people. But since high school, I've had a very difficult time doing that. And then there's the depression that I have. Now, I think this started when my grandfather passed away in 2010, because at that time, he was like a father to me, because at the time, my real father, was not in my life for a while, and my grandfather was the only person that I really knew who acted like a father towards me, and I lived with my grandparents for quite a while. And I think that's when that started, but it wasn't noticeable to my family, and I didn't know what it was at the time, because I was 14 years old at the time. I have autism, so I didn't quite understand it, other than I was sad. I didn't feel whole anymore. And then I go to high school, and around between coming out of 10th grade, going into 11th grade and 12th grade and everything, I went through a lot of stuff while my computer is popping up a whole bunch of shit. There. And things just got worse. Starting off with the people who I thought were my friends, and I find out that they're using me, breaks my heart, my trust. And they're making up all these lies about me, and I know they're not true, and most other people know they're not true, but there's other people who don't know that they're not true, and just a big mess. And I have a hard time of letting my feelings out and talking to people. I still do. I was going through a very rough patch in my life, and in 2014, when I was in 11th grade, I attempted something that was very bad, and something that no one should ever try to attempt. I don't want to say the words, but I think everyone who watches this knows what I'm talking about. And that resulted in me, thankfully, making it through and realizing, okay, I'm in a very bad place in my life. This is not the answer for what I'm going through. I need help. More help than what my friends and family could provide. I made the decision. I'm going to help myself, and I had myself committed to a mental hospital for 3 months. And after 3 months, I came out, and I was a lot better. I was in a better position than I was mentally prior to me going in there, and it's just been a work in progress with me ever since. Those that progress was once again tested in 2020, December 28th, 2020 to be exact. People on Twitter who follow me know about this. Very sad story. I had a friend named Thomas. We have been friends since elementary school. One of my best friends, like a brother to me. And he suffered like I do with depression and terrible anxiety. And I was like his shoulder to cry on. He knew he could confide in me. He knew he could trust me. And he tried to help himself privately, only confiding in me. I tried to help him whenever I could, with whatever I could have. And a couple of days before the 28th, it was Christmas Day, we had a face chat. And we were asking what we had gotten for Christmas that year. I showed him all the stuff I'd gotten. He showed me what he'd gotten. And after high school graduation, he moved out of state. He moved to Kentucky. I stayed behind in West Virginia. And we only saw each other sporadically after he moved, but we kept in touch thanks to cell phones and social media. We were planning another meetup after the holiday. So after New Year, we were going to have another chance to hang out. He was going to be coming back into town with his family to visit other families still living in the state. He was going to hang out with me for a couple of days. It was going to be a great time. December 28th, right around 6 p.m., I get a phone call from his sister. And she tells me that they found him dead. He had taken his own life. I was devastated. My mother was at my house because she was helping me move some stuff around. And according to her, because I don't remember what all I did, when I have emotional breakdowns, I black out. And she thought I lost my mind. And after a couple of minutes, apparently I came to myself. I looked at her, that's just all I remember happening after that. I looked at her. I took a breath. And I passed out. I fell completely backwards and on my floor, just completely blacked out. I woke up in the hospital. She was afraid that I had a concussion from falling on the wooden floor. Thankfully, I didn't have any major problems other than the emotional trauma from hearing that my best friend, someone who was like a brother to me, was no longer with us. I felt like it was my fault. Like I didn't try hard enough. Like I didn't help him as much as I should have. I blamed myself for this. And there I was again in a very bad place in my life. Mentally, again, I was breaking down. And I was afraid that my history would repeat itself and I would end up back where I was in 2014. I didn't want to go through that again. I stayed with my mother for a few days. Afterwards, I went back to therapy because I tried therapy in high school, but didn't have any luck with it at that point. But I gave therapy a second chance to talk to a professional, and I've been going to therapy every day now for the last 2 years, and I'm slowly making progress. And it's not easy to talk about these things. It's not easy to sit down in front of a camera and tell people that about my mental health. That, hey, I'm not always this happy, smiling guy you see on camera. Like, I'm not always that guy who stands in front of a green screen or sits here in a costume and plays doctor characters and old lady characters, or does the vlogs, or does the gaming videos, or runs the podcast. I'm not always this guy here who sits there and smiles and acts like an idiot. My idiot act is that an act. Because when I'm in character, when I'm acting, I feel more comfortable with who I am. Because at that point in time, I'm not who I am. I'm that character. And I'm only happy when I'm not myself. And that's why I feel comfortable with who I am, because I'm not who I am when I'm playing the parts. And that's another thing I'm going through in therapy right now. That I need to be happy outside of character as well. But I'm not Mr. Smiles. Everybody that likes to make people laugh and smile and be happy when they're not happy takes a lot out of us. Because we're not happy. But we want other people to be happy. We want to help other people laugh and smile. Because laughing and smiling for us is very difficult to do. I can have 1-2 days maybe out of a week where I'm happy, where I feel happiness, where I can laugh, have fun. But then I have all the rest of the days where I'm sad. I don't talk to other people. I'm to myself. I'm laying in bed, just scrolling through social media because that's all I feel able to do. That I go through a lot in my life, and every day is a challenge, but I persevere every day because I know I can do it. It's hard, very difficult, but if I've learned anything in my life, nothing is impossible. That I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. That I have problems, but I can deal with them, and I can live with them, and I can be better than they are. That they don't define me. Like, depression does not define you. You define yourself and your actions and how you deal with things. And that's what I wanted to talk about. That I have a lot of mental health issues. And YouTube actually helps me out with that a lot. Getting to sit down and make videos and talk to people who I've gotten to know, people that I now know I can trust, to help me with podcasts, to talk about topics that we all like. Because that's what this channel is about. This channel is for entertainment. I like to make people laugh and smile. I've been running this channel since 2017. But I made it back in 2016. But I've been making videos since 2017. It started out as therapy for myself to help me through things. But over time, it's gotten to where it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel even better to know that if I make a video, if one person's laughing or smiling at it, then I've done good. That I've made someone else who's having a bad day feel better. And I like that. But that's what this channel's for. So it's for entertainment, to make people laugh and smile and have a great day. So I want to thank you all for just sitting here and watching me ramble on and talk about my problems for what is now almost 15 minutes. And not to worry, the more happy videos are coming out or coming. Don't worry, the typical content is coming back. Dr. Mispractice, Dr. Loomis, possibly Grandma Michelle if I can remember where I put the rest of the scripts, because her storyline's almost done. So. And then, of course, we're still working on the podcast and another one's on the way as well. But yes, I want to end this with saying, if you feel like you're not enough, if you feel like you are in a place where no one can help you, where you feel like you can't talk to somebody, just remember you're not alone. There are people out there that know how you feel, and there are people out there that can help you. That there's always another option to get help. Talk to people. We're out there, and we will listen to you. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.